all our subscribers, subscriber. So we're Blue Sky Ventures
Hi,
based out
Mom.
of based out of Vancouver, and we're business brokers. We help people buy and sell businesses. And the idea behind this discussion is we're looking to start a channel where we can create a dialogue about how to vet or how to look at businesses quickly and see if they're a fit for you or not. And, what do we look at as brokers ourselves? We see a lot of deals in the market on an active basis. And so you get a little bit of a bird's eye view into our world and what we look at. And that's the idea behind this series. Paul is a phenomenal business broker. Joyce is our business consultant. And we talk to buyers and sellers all day long. My name is Rusty. And so we're just going to get this discussion started. We found a really cool business in Calgary, which is a marketing agency that's for sale. And we're just going to spend a few minutes quickly talking about, it's not our listing. This is all public information. But typically what questions come to mind for us first and how we tackle that. When we're looking at a deal with very little information on a public website.
Great.
So, yeah. So, shall we jump right into it?
Let's do it. So this is a live listing 3080662, marketing agency in Calgary. I found, and here's the stats. So asking price is $1.1 million. Interesting. The revenue is around $1 million as well. No information about the cash flow. What do you think the cash flow is, Rusty? What do you think it would be?
I don't know, Paul. You run a digital marketing agency. What do typical margins look like? I mean, from what I've seen, typically cash flows in digital marketing agencies about 18 to 20% net is what I'm talking, like net normalized EBITDA. Yeah. So I'm assuming the cash flow is probably closer to 150, 180. It's confidential. So this is just a guessing game based on what we've dealt with in the past. What would you say, Paul?
Yeah, I'd say the same, like 15 to 20%
right?
margins on that. That depends on the type of services they have. Obviously, recurring revenue is a little bit higher margins. If it's project-based work, it's going to be different margins as well.
Yeah.
Joyce, have you? What do you think about the marketing industry? Do you like it?
Yes, I do.
Have you met anyone looking for a marketing agency at all, or marketing company?
I've met a few, and because everybody's going more on Zoom and being from home as well, so having a marketing agency now, folks are exploring of how they can utilize it instead of going into the office.
Yeah,
and such, right? And so
this one's located in Calgary. I love Calgary. I love the people in Calgary. But Calgary's cold. It's very, very cold in the wintertime. They've got clients all through North America. If it was me, I would be focusing mostly on US clients to get the US dollar. I would want to know a percentage of, where their clients are located. I'd also want to know more information about the breakdown of the types of services that they have. They've got 350 active clients. So how much revenue is it per client? You can just do a quick math on that.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
What is it equal?
So you're probably looking at about $2,000-$3,000 per client. Not bad. I mean, they're probably smaller businesses. From what I've seen so far, especially going in and out of COVID, digital marketing agencies have done very well. The fact that people can't advertise or market their businesses in the same way like they used to with our new normal, I think the reality is that a lot of digital marketing agencies have done very well during COVID, and they're great businesses. Like they're all seasoned businesses. They don't face, seasonality and cyclicality. Yeah. There's a growing demand for digital marketing. Depending on who your customer is and how they consume content. The reality is that if you don't do any digital marketing as a business, you're probably going to get left behind. And an example of that.
Sorry to interrupt. Even just the COVID rules and just putting new splash page on your website about COVID rules. If you're a retailer, you need to sort of advertise, tell them that you're COVID compliant if there are any rules to comply with. But just these little updates These are opportunities to upsell, website maintenance, security vulnerability. It looks like this business has won some design awards, so that tells me they got some
That's
quite
very
big
positive.
there. The whole
Yeah.
industry, as in a general, is fantastic. It's very exciting. It's sexy as well. Like, it's really cool and interesting. Um, but what do you think about the whole Upwork and Fiverr and getting labor from other parts in the world and paying less money? Like, do you think that's going to be disruptive to the industry? Do you think it's going to hurt the revenue for this company?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Because a lot of folks, if it's from like Canada and within, it's more localized and you're able to reach them a lot quicker, hopefully, as well.
Yeah.
As if it's in another country, then you have a greater risk of other items as well.
What
Like
about you,
yours.
Rusty?
I would say that Fiverr is a great example because it's been around for a while now. It's not
Yeah.
something that's new, or you'd start seeing that disruption happening by now. The
Mm-hmm.
the reality is, I think a lot of people like to deal with something slightly more local in their environment. Their understanding of quality or their understanding of needs perhaps is preferable if you connect with someone who's not necessarily across the world. I think for small businesses, I would say Fiverr, someone who needs like a simple marketing, simple website, maybe a restaurant. I think a Fiverr is perhaps good competition to a local digital marketing agency. But
Yeah.
anything bigger than that, I think mid-sized companies like working with agencies. They like working with knowing that they have a full service type deal going on. We have internal designers, content writers, someone to take point on all marketing queries. And they have the budget for it as well. I think the people who don't necessarily have budget for digital marketing tend to fall back on a Fiverr, as an example. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, you have to remember, like, Fiverr and Upwork, they're great for small jobs, even some large jobs as well, and finding talent. But you know, the thing is, the challenge is you're going to be dealing with people with different culture, different work ethic, different time zones. You got all those challenges. You're interviewing a whole bunch of people to make sure the quality is going to be good. It's very, very time consuming. If it was me, I mean, you still need someone boots on the ground, that account manager who understands the client's
Totally.
technical aspects, right? You need to do that business requirements document and really understand it. But then you can outsource some of the sort of the simpler tasks, installing WordPress or installing a theme, customizing the colors of the theme. Just going back to this company again, and just like, what else do they have? Do they say that they've got employees that have been there for a long time, the longevity of the employees? The company has experience in providing marketing campaigns, great, and strategies across all online and offline media.
Which is nice. So
I
while
don't
you're
know what they mean
speaking,
by
you're
offline
working
media,
there.
like a magazine or newspaper.
Yeah, I kind of question. I didn't know what offline media was myself, but
Yeah.
maybe it's like a newsletter that they're sending out, which is
So when you're
viewable
sleeping,
offline.
then there's there's still advertising for you.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be all
Yeah.
kinds of, yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever I see things like revenue is a 3-year average, then you have a decent understanding that there's probably going to be some spikes or pitfalls or values in their revenue. And so because we do this too, you want to average it out, you want to make it look nicer. Again, this is just an assumption. We haven't really seen any sort of financial information about this business.
No.
But chances are they've done very well in COVID. That's probably what my takeaway would be.
Yeah. Okay, so 3-year average, earnings are confidential, which is typical. You want to sign a non-disclosure agreement before getting access to information. Strong team of experienced employees, amazing reputation. I wonder if the employees know that business is for sale, massive potential for growth. I wonder how automated the business is. One of the owners are there all the time. And so here the brokers put in, like, buyers must provide pre-qualification documents and information for further to get more information about the business. So are you related to the industry? I think that's really important. You have to understand the marketing industry. You really do. You can't just fake it. You can't just know what a website is. You can't just know what the social media platforms are. You really need to understand a lot of stuff to be successful in this business, or hire someone who can. Preferred deal structure, down payment. Let's just quickly, 3 top questions you would ask if you were the buyer of this business. Rusty, you go.
Okay. What for me, I love breakdowns of revenue. So you're going to hear me say that a lot.
Yeah.
Breakdown revenue by customer, by industry, by services offered. Like that would be my first set series of questions. I know that sounds like 3 questions, but that would be my first. Why don't you go next? I'll come back to my next 2 because I feel like I've already done 3.
That's cheating. That's cheating.
I know. I don't want to leave. I don't want to like come in with like 9 questions by the end of it. I want to leave some for you guys too.
Joyce, what's your 3 top questions you would ask?
Why has the owner put the business up for sale?
Okay, why are they selling?
Yep, and then can the owner? I know that they're asking a little bit from the buyer as well, which is fine. But can the owner provide evidence of the gross revenue of the business for the past 3 years?
Yeah.
And then
evidence of growth. Yeah.
And then how? I guess, does the business have any signed contracts in place?
That's a good one. Signed
contract. I love that.
So in the agency world, there's something called agency of record, AOR, and so you can be an agency of record for a very large company, and so that means all their marketing requirements get sent to you, and you get first right of refusal. So if you get like TELUS or Bell, one of these larger, Toyota, one of these larger companies, agency of record, that can significantly increase your bottom line. But then you have to worry about percentage of revenue based on the customer. So you have to be careful there. I would like to know a lot more about the employees. Just a lot more. I just tell me everything about the employees, how long they've been there, what they're getting paid. And then after the employees, I want to know what kind of services that they do. Is it just social media? Is it project work? Is it hourly work? So I want to know the services, the employees, and then their customers. So that's the 3 sort of big questions that I would want to dive into a little bit more. Rusty, do you want to add in another?
Yeah, I think I would probably look at it from a mindset of, okay, how instrumental is the business owner to the business and to finding new contacts or contracts? Like, is the business owner the one talking to all the customers, or do they have specific project leads or account managers who are doing that? I guess another question would be around understanding that transition and what that's going to look like. This comes back to Joyce's question of why they're selling. If someone is selling a business and they're taking the money and they're flying to Costa Rica for 3 months, you want to be a little cautious of that. You want the owner to be around for at least, in my opinion, at least 6 months to a year to just have availability. They don't have to come into the office, but they just need to be available for support and training. And I guess what else? From my side, I would want to look at, again, Paul, you touched on the services. Do they have, specific maybe division leads or project leads that they've hired, and how long have they been with the company? Because
exactly.
You should, and I'm not saying that this is the case with this business. I'm saying this is a very generic way of talking, but the reality is you don't want to buy a business where all the employees have been around for 6 months. That's just
exactly.
That's just it, right? You want to come in at it thinking everyone knows what they already have to do. They've already spent enough time in the business to understand the process flows, how to close deals, how to manage customers, looking at that, likely to recommend or net promoter score if they have one. That's stuff that I would start getting granular on.
You see, the last thing I want to sort of mention though is see these questions at the bottom. Specifically, the last one, proof of down payment. The reason why brokers put that down is because there's a lot of tire kickers out there. So my advice, if you're looking for a business, only inquire about the ones you're really serious about. Okay, don't waste people's time. No one's going to give you a proof of their down payment on a $1 million business. But just be respectful. Like, you're asking people to share very confidential information. Don't just inquire just because you're bored or whatever.
Yeah.
But Rusty, what do you think about deal structure? Can you comment on that, or do you need more information?
Yeah. I would say in a more generic way about deal structure. There in Canada, again, we're not accountants, we're not lawyers, so you have to always seek legal and accounting advice on your own. Things to keep in mind is, are you doing a share sale versus an asset sale? Not to confuse asset sale where you're buying the assets of the business directly. It just boils down to life, doesn't it? If the owners have been, all buyers want an asset sale, all sellers want a share sale. When you do a share sale, you tend to take on all liabilities of the business because you're buying the shares of the business. But if you're just doing an asset sale, you're not taking on necessarily all the liabilities. So if they're being sued right now, you can't be held liable because you don't own the shares of the business. That's kind of the mentality behind it. A typical deal structure is, you want to be able to come in and figure out what percentage of cash do you have versus are they open to seller or vendor financing, and will a bank link to it? At the end of the day, if you're not flush with $1 million in your account, you're probably going to get a portion of bank financing. So do you have the net worth to qualify for that? Because you're going to be signing personal guarantees. So that's going to be the next question. Paul, you want to say something?
Sorry, yeah, no. I mean, I personally, I need to see more information about the financials to sort of give the deal structure. If the financials are sort of lumpy or they fluctuate a lot, that tells me that I need to have a different deal structure. But yeah, absolutely, good point about share asset sale and getting bank financing. But look at this, I just discovered. I just realized this. Real property included.
Yes.
I think that might be a typo.
Yeah.
I think that's a typo. For $1 million, real property, you certainly can't buy anything for $1 million in Vancouver, but
you can in Calgary.
Calgary is different.
So here's another bit of information for you. 7 full-time employees. So does it include the owners? Maybe not. But 7. You got $1 million worth of revenue. Divide that by 7. Now you know how much people are going to get. Kind of getting paid, remove the margin. So we said about $150,000 of margin, maybe. So, what are we left? 850 divided by 7 equals $120,000 per employee. That seems a bit high, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, you can just do reverse calculations like that. Comes with $35,000 worth of equipment. I imagine that's just basically
computers, desks.
Very expensive Mac computers. Yeah. So that's all for today, I think. It was fun. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Rusty.
Yeah.
Let's post it. And if you have any questions, please visit us at our website or leave a comment. We're happy to chat.
This is just a discussion. So, anyone who's watching this and has come this far wants us to evaluate businesses or wants us to just look at deals, or just ask questions. Either post them in the comments, like our page, and follow for more videos.
Yeah, if you want us to review another business, just let us know. We're happy to do that.
Just send us. Doesn't matter where it is. We're happy to jump in and just have some initial discussions about it.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.